Hello everyone, welcome back to Performance Racing League, PRL. I am Hoop BK, and we are at a very wet Mexico City, Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. I say very wet, it is starting to rain now. The expected weather for this session, for the qualifying session, was supposed to be overcast into rainy, but the rain has come out very quickly, so this is going to be one of those sessions where you need to get out on track immediately before it gets far too wet. As you can see, everyone is pouring out of the pit lane, just trying to get a lap in somewhat dry conditions. I'm not sure anyone's going to actually get those conditions now. And then the race will also be wet. It'll start overcast and then go into heavy rain for the majority of the 36 laps. See if we can figure out who is out front. Not Stiggy, but Hulkeberg, who I believe this is their PRL debut, maybe. So welcome Hulkeberg. I do see a couple of new faces. Toxin, I believe, could be making their debut. Momster, I think their debut was last week, the 100% race in Las Vegas, which they did pretty well at. So welcome, Momster. Trying to think of who that is in the Discord. Anyways, back to Hulkeberg. Gonna see just how difficult it is to get around the circuit in the wet while on soft tires. Long front straight here at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. All the way down to turn 1. Plenty of overtaking opportunities here with the DRS zone. Through 1, 2, and 3. The S is Moises Solana. You see the car snapping as he's trying to get back on the throttle. So head down towards Ese del Lago. Pretty much 4, 5, 6, and 7. Just another little stadium section here. Mexico City is really just some straightaways with these little awkward slow sections in between. DRS is already disabled, which is pretty much the signal that you should no longer be on slick tires. Watch Hulkeberg try to fight his way through the S's. No traction here. You see the rear trying to step out and will not have the DRS flap open. As he heads down towards Forosol into the stadium section. Goes over so it will invalidate his lap. Eddie just behind, that's Alex F1. Very slowly making his way through Forosol. Back onto the Peraltada turn 17, is it? So he is the first clean lap. It's a 127 flat, but slick tires, wet track. Let's see what other laps can get pumped in here. I imagine it'll be slower and slower the further back you were on track. This literally could be Alex F1 on pole position just because he got his lap in first. And that means big mistake from Hulkeberg as he was the first one out on track. It could have been him. It could have been him. Let's see, I wanted to get to Andy Wu, and yeah, it's pretty much the order of crossing the line. Some drivers giving up, not even bothering finishing their lap. Heavy Chalice, 136s, and ends up going really wide. Ooh, fighting to keep the car straight. See, Mobster, that's Lux, right? Now, real quick, let's see who is on. So basically, 14th through 18th right now have put on the intermediate tires. Kobe, who had to charge from the rear of the field last week, I think missed qualifying, finished P2. and Furzy and Zabit all out on the track. Tons of traffic here in the final sector. Zabit all over the rear of one of the Alpines there. Zabit, the first of this group, but I do want to go on with Furzy. Already dumping battery. 12.5 minutes now left on the clock. But possibly already the best laps have happened in this session. Dumping battery still just to get down to turn 4. Big lock. You can hear the tires squealing. Might run into some traffic. I think it's actually just him catching Zabit, who's also on the hot lap. So Zabit will have no... big moment there. Zabit will have no reason to get out of the way. He is also pushing. If Furzy doesn't, in fact, catch him. Trying to keep it... It's even in the dry, the S is pretty easy to go over. So good work by Furzy. Keeping it on the track. I think Zabit went over just in front. No, he's still... his lap is still valid. Furzy might have a semi-competitive lap. How quickly can you get on the throttle? Really fighting it. And Furzy will get it to P3, a 128.2. Zabit, 129.4. Some drivers already retiring from the session saying, I don't... That's what we got. But Furzy on the inters, at least within a second and a half of what Eddie and Airborne were able to throw down. Old syrup style, it's E-Diggity in the McLaren. And Echo Alex, our championship leader, actually. Dominated Midweek 2 last season, made the jump back to Midweek 1, and is leading the standings. We have a yellow, but I think it's just cars getting out of the way here. Has a P4, a victory at Baku in round 2, and then finished 4th again at Las Vegas last week. So he's holding a 5-point lead over Stiggy, who sits P11. Kobe turned in a rather good lap here, just 0.3 behind Alex. So maybe it's not quite decided, as we still have 10 minutes left. Perhaps if it doesn't get too much heavier, the rain on track, that is, some time could be found, and they could get after Alex F1. Furzy puts in another lap. 127.4 puts him P3. He splits the Saubers. I think Avs just went through. His teammate slots in behind him at P7. Echo Alex P8, a 128.8. Let's see who that is. Oh, it's Chalice on an outlap. As he will start dumping battery. Furzy getting out of the way, and Airborne not finding enough time through 2 sectors. He's actually a long way down. Lux to the top of the board, 126.7. Great lap there. I think that was Hulkeberg that came across the line just behind him, slotting into P6. So the fight is on for pole position. Stiggy just jumped Hulkeberg. Avs fan to the top, or jumps in as well. JD slotting in as well. So all of these drivers coming across the line, shuffling the top 10 just a bit. Inside 8 minutes to go now. So I'm just trying to keep up with who is where. Coming in, we got a Ferrari. That's Echo starting to push on another lap for him. Tiger Kobe Plays has found 6/10. Can he get to the top of the board? He does, a 126.5. So we are breaking into the 126s now. Kobe, great lap. Responding to Lex's excellent lap. And seizing provisional pole. His teammate hasn't validated and is off the pace. We'll hit the pit lane instead. I think we got some Williamses. Hulkeberg finds some time, jumps a spot to P7. Stiggy. Let's see. Avs on hot lap, but I'm not sure is going to find any time. Yeah, we'll head to the pit lane instead. So will JD. Oh, missed that actually. Gourd Sauce. I'm not sure how I missed that. Gourd Sauce is P3, 127 flat. So good lap from Gourd. He's about to start another lap. Well, is starting another lap. Battery already at 35% as he hits turn 1. We've got Kitten Petter. Oh, but he's already invalidated. Unfortunate. Toxin, the only driver to not get a lap in. Skirt, Gord's teammate, is already retired from the session. He will be P19 at best. He and HK have retired. HK will be 13th at best. There's Abbott finding a quarter of a second already. Let's jump to Alex F1 real quick. Say real quick. He is just starting a lap, but he was on provisional pole. Was the first driver to get a clean lap in on the slick tires. So left him at the top of the board. It's been shuffled down just a bit to P4, but oh yeah, not a great first sector at all. Well off the pace there. Echo is invalidated. Zabit has invalidated. What about Kitten Petter? Bit off the pace through Sector 1. What about Sector 2? Yeah. I think the rain is getting heavier and heavier. Toxin still unable to get a clean lap in. I'm not sure anyone is finding time right now. I think the rain is getting just a bit too intense. Well, I say that Furzy... well, I think that was... Yeah, he hasn't hit the sector line yet. Where is he at the timing line for Sector 1? Within a tenth. Had to dump a lot of battery to get there, and he's already... Well, I turned it to none, now to medium. These kinds of sessions where you just have you put the inters on and just start circulating. Oh, saw a big slide there from Furzy. Just getting the car rotated through the S's. Yeah, a second off the pace now from his best time. I'm not sure anyone's really going to find time. Really, Zabit's on has equipped the wet tires at least, just in case he goes out for another run. We're inside 4 minutes to go. Toxin says, no thank you. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any more improvements here. Furzy retires from the session. I think he has realized this as well. This might be your final order, as the rain is just coming down really, really hard now. Yeah, more drivers retiring from the session, realizing that continuing might be futile. Do like a good 129 flat. Nice round number from Heavy Chalice in P16. He is on the wet tire. Just not sure there'll be any time to find here. Yeah, about half a second down. Kiwi on the inters. Inside 2 minutes to go now. I think Toxin's just trying to get a lap in at this rate. No improvement there from Kobe. Yeah, this track is difficult enough traction-wise in the dry, but it's very, very slippery out there right now. A qualifying session that becomes more about keeping the car intact and finding consistency, because you'll probably have these conditions later in the race. Understanding what the car is going to do in these conditions and less about actually trying to turn in the fastest lap you can. Inside a minute to go now. I don't think we've seen much movement in the past few minutes. So if this stays how it is, Kobe Plays would get his first pole position of the season. We're in round 4. I think it's 4 rounds, 4 different pole winners. And last time Kobe was on pole in Midweek 1 was round 11 last season at Reverse Netherlands. Just 12 cars in that race, that's right. I think he had 2 pole positions last season and probably a few the season before as well, as the checkered flag waves. And those have already taken it. Well, their session is done. Yeah, Ken Petter, you may have waited just a bit too long. It's going to cost you on the starting grid, but should be a dry start at least. That's my understanding. Yeah, pretty much everyone's session is over. No chance turning anything faster. Can Toxin get in a clean lap? Let's just see if he can turn one in. See, snakes his way through the stadium section. It's old baseball stadium for a soul. Pouring rain. Goodness. And he is going to jump a spot, actually, over the previously retired skirt. So Toxin will be P19 instead of P20 on the grid. I'm not being facetious. Just being able to get a clean lap in is a huge victory. Are we going to have to wait for the cars to circulate now? Goodness. So it did kind of turn into a who got out on track first, but also who got onto the inters first and were able to get a clean lap in before the rain completely came down and washed everything away, all the grip away. That's what happened to Kobe Plays. 126.5 is good enough for pole position. He's next to Momster, Lux on the front row, Gord Sauce and Alex F1 on row 2, Airborne Tiger, Andy Wu on row 3, Hulkyberg and Furzy row 4, Echo Alex and T Stiggy round out the top 10. We have Avs Fan, JD, HK, Old Syrup Style, and Zabit to 15th. Heavy Chalice, Kitten Petter, Kiwi, Toxin, and Skirt round out a full 20-car grid. Now let's see who nailed their setup for qualifying and for the race, having to compromise between what is likely to be a dry start and then a wet qualifying session. But it's definitely going to... the rain is coming once again during the race session, so drivers should be prepared for this. While they set up their strategy, which is not really going to matter anyway. Go through some of the standings real quick. Echo Alex at the top of the board. As we mentioned earlier, he is 5 points ahead of Stiggy, who is 11 points ahead of Furzy, 4 points ahead of HK. He's going off a rough showing in Las Vegas last week, and Kobe Plays, who's coming off a really good outing in Las Vegas. He's 30 points behind the leader, 10 points behind HK for P4. Andy Wu is just 1 point behind him, P6. Then a little bit further back to Airborne Tiger and kind of the bulk of the field. P8 is Avs Fan, and then between him and Kiwi in 14th, it's only 8 points, so still wide open there in the midfield. In the Constructors, it is very tight at the top. The Ferrari duo of Echo Alex and JD, 111 points. Furzy and Chalice and the Red Bulls just 9 points behind. HK and Brian in the V-Carbs just 14 behind. As the Salbers are fourth, just 16 behind. And P5 in the Constructors is Williams, just 19 behind. So 5 teams within 20 points. Still pretty early in the season, round 4 of, I think, of 14? Or is it 12? It's going to be 12 this season. So already getting to the meat of the schedule. We're past the quarter way mark in season 16. So the formation lap is about to get underway. Think we had a early ready up or multiple. Let's see kind of tires we're looking at. Yep, so everyone's on the slicks. We have hards, we have mediums, we have softs. Say mostly mediums. Kobe on pole, Gord in third, Airborne in fifth, Stiggy, Avs, Zabit, Skirt, all on the hard tire. And then 1, 2, 5, 8, 10, 11 drivers on the medium tire. Pretty much everyone else except for Echo Alex, the Ferrari and P9, our championship leader, starting on the softs. And Kiwi, take it possibly the long way around, in P18 in the Haas, also on the soft tire. So we're at a gamble of when do you think the rain is going to come? It's like, is it going to be early enough that the soft tire is superior, where you can pit before it completely falls off a cliff? Is it going to be a little bit further? Go for the medium tire, which is a good mix. Or do you think the rain is going to hold off a bit and you're just going to take the hards until it starts raining? It's kind of the safe bet, but are you maximizing the pace in the dry? Bit of a trade-off there. So 3 different options. We're seeing all 3 of them. As Kobe Plays, our pole sitter, moves back to his grid box at the front of the field. Sauber crawls back into his box. At the other end, the Aston Martin of Skirt and the Mercedes of Toxin alongside each other, pulling into their respective grid boxes. And we will wait just moments until the light sequence. Here we go. Waiting for the lights to come on. There we go. 4, 5 red lights. And we are underway from Mexico City. Good jumps, bad jumps all over the place. Kobe doesn't get a good jump. And Lux is going to take the lead and start running away with it towards turn 1. Much better jump on the mediums. 3 wide, the Haas is sent spinning, and we have cars all over the place trying to pick their way through the first 3 corners. Always a mess here. That was Alex F1, who had started P4. Got pinched to the inside on 3 wide. We're going to see some moves, and Sauber gets sent spinning. That's Airborne Tiger, who has also fallen back a long way. So a lot of 3 wide, cars going aggressive in the early going, trying to take advantage of the dry weather, and at the cost of some others. Yeah, so Alex F1 and Airborne Tiger, obviously the big losers here in the first few corners. They are sent spinning off. Oh, wow, look at this mess here for P6. Woo, JD, Furzy, and they're fighting side by side just to stay on the track. Furzy tucks in behind JD now. I think I saw some damage to the front of that Ferrari. Hulkenberg is up 5 spots now after he passes Kobe into turn 1. Down the front straight. Look at this, 3 wides, locking brakes. Already our first track limits warnings here. And penalties. See, Kiwi look to the bottom of Av's fan. That's going to become the outside. Gets really, really tight here through... I'm trying to remember the name of this section here. But low speeds, able to go side by side. Can you keep the momentum through? Can you keep it tidy? Toxin up 10 spots now in the Mercedes. That's who we're following along through the S's. Looking ahead, Furzy and JD coming through for Seoul. Got a yellow. Whew. Side by side there as Toxin gets to the outside of Echo. I think Echo was forced to take a bit of curb, and Hulkenberg has made a move for the lead. The Williams gets by Momster into turn 1. DRS help there. And he has gone from 7th to 1st in just a little over 2 laps. So these top 3, and then Gordsauce, not too far behind them. JD has moved up into P5 from 12th on the grid. There's not much remaining of that front wing, though. Goodness gracious. So going to need to change that in his pit stop, especially once the rain comes, and we'll really need that downforce. Currently P5, and then there's the fray behind. Look at this. This is Kid Pettit for P15, Skirt for P16, trying to find his way past. Kid Pettit, we saw, just cut that corner. That's going to give him his 3rd strike already. And then we have drivers who have struggled in the early going for one reason or another. That's Alex F1 in the Haas. Heavy Chalice down a few and had a bit of a moment there. He's going to let Tiger by at HK around the outside in the V-carb. He's going to send Chalice from 18th to 20th. Just a small mistake and costly on track. Toxin gets by Andy Wu. Look at this mess. So from 19th to 13th, or up 13 to P6, excuse me. Was finally able to get a clean lap in at the very end of qualifying, but has had an excellent first 3 laps of this race, clawing his way up to P6. This is my first look at Toxin, so impressed thus far. Bursey to the inside of Wu. Maybe gets the elbows out, pushes him a little off the track. It takes the position, moves to P8. You can see a little bit of damage to the front. Let's see if I get to Kiwi. Yeah, I think missing an end plate on the white Red Bull in P8. So look at the trio here at the front of the field, headed towards lap 5. They have pulled well clear. Look at that. I just looked at the map. This is kind of insane. Oh, it locks the car and Kobe goes spinning. Holds onto it though. Big rear pivot. He's going to lose a ton of time and bring Gordon Sauce a bit closer to him. And then it's 8 seconds back to JD at P5 and just a train of cars behind him. Sahas of Kiwi getting really close to the rear of... Oh, I see raindrops. I also see passes for the lead. I'll make sure there's not going to be a lock here. They are side by side as they head towards the S's. That's Hulkeberg getting by. And returning to the lead. Kobe's already back in the fray. A slide from Mobster. He is slid off the track. Is going to have to recover. So the rain obviously affecting grip already here on lap 5. We've seen quite a few moments this lap already. And it's affecting JD, who has no front wing. Absolutely no front grip. It's going to be a pretty easy overtake for Kiwi here. I think JD needs to be the first one in the pits because he has zero grip here in dampening conditions. I think Echo has had a problem. Yep, he's rejoining to the track in P20 alongside Heavy Chalice. So he's had an issue coming into Forest Soul, and we have drivers in the pit lane. Kobe gets by Hulkeberg for the lead. Kiwi onto the inters. JD onto inters. Kittenpetter, Alex F1 are the first ones to come to the pit lane. And Echo Alex will put on the full wets, actually. So he's expecting it to get really, really wet really, really soon. We've got cars around. I see possibly a Sauber. McLaren. We have a full course safety car. Ad sold syrup style. E-diggity. Having issues out of turn 3. Could not get the car going again. And finally does so with some front wing damage. It brings out the full course safety car, which really hurts the 5 drivers who just came in to pit. Just brutal for these 5 who do not get the quicker times in pit lane. Trying to think of who was where. What, Kiwi was top 8 maybe? So let's see where he comes out, as pretty much everyone else will hit the pit lane to put on probably inters, but we can see some others join Echo on the full wets. You see a lot of inters. Some cars getting held up here. Yeah, Mobster held up with the V-carbs. We've got a collision, which has brought Skirt a 10-second time penalty. Mobster went from 3rd to 4th. Toxin will come out P5. Heavy Chalice is the only other driver to move to the full wets. Oh, and Kiwi gets hit with a drive-through. He was one of the 5 that had pit earlier, speeding under safety car. And JD gets into the back of Kittenpetter. Yep, already has damage to that car once again. Man, that's rough. And has a 10-second penalty to come along with it. Echo says, maybe it's not time for the full wets just yet. He moves to the inters. I'm recalling, I don't know how many seasons ago now, midweek race at Mexico. I think we had it was a special theme. I think that was the full qualifying. So we had 3 full qualifying sessions. And then during the race, it went dry to wet. I had an issue entering for a soul. Came in. Forgot to switch over my tire selection to the inters. So then went back out to do another lap on slicks to return to the pit lane and then bin the car in wet conditions on hard tires. Not the finest race of my PRL career. Going a little bit better for some of these guys so far. We still have 20 cars, well, still in the race here on lap 8. We are under full course yellow behind the safety car, as E. Diggity in the McLaren had an issue coming out of turn 3. Don't know if he had any help there. More cars coming back to the pit lane. I think that's with damage. Yeah, Skirt ran into the back of someone, put on inters. JD had gotten to the back of someone, also serving a penalty for that collision. And will come back out on intermediate tires. That leaves the Ferraris at the rear of the field. Goodness, that's the Ferrari duo that's leading the constructors right now. So still early stages of this race, but that could be a huge swing in points. Furzy in the Red Bull, where is he running? In P9, mentions that he's having some force feedback issues. It keeps going out on him. So he is dealing with that, called a mechanical issue. It's the last week's winner and pole sitter in Las Vegas. Sorry I missed that one. I was scheduled to come on and do comms for that 100% race, but just had a really, really long day. I think I was in bed by the time the race even started. So, but that means I'm here with Tier 1 for this week instead of being back over at Tier 2. Trying to alternate at this rate. So that means next Wednesday I'll be with Tier 2 for Montreal. There's always good racing there. Make sure to check out the channel same time next week for that. Not much of a championship battle in Tier 2. Though, actually, after Gold Killer was kind of running away with it, but he missed last week's race, and Spot Up Triples is your championship leader in Midweek 2. So we'll keep an eye on that battle. Hopefully that'll stay close through the results of this week. That race is going on right now as well. And we can have a good narrative, some drama next week for Midweek 2 at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. So safety car will come in this lap. We're at the quarter way mark. Lap 9 of 36 here in Mexico City. See Kobe dead sideways. I don't know, trying to get heat into the tires. But absolutely sideways. We've seen a lot of moments so far. See how bad the field stacks up here as they crawl through the Forest Soul. Yeah, still sliding as he makes his way through the Peraltada. Hulkenberg all over the rear still. Has a really good restart. He's going to get to the high side. Can he get clear before turn 1? Hulkenberg, great restart. Jumps into the lead before we get to turn 1. Oh, a little bit later braking. Kobe stays out of the rear of Hulkenberg, though would keep it clean, at least through the top 4. So I see side-by-side action. That's Andy Wu and Stiggy for P7. Stiggy ushered wide. Furzy will take advantage of it as well. How about Airborne Tiger? Can he get by? Side-by-side with the Williams as we head down towards turn 4. How late can you be? How brave can you be? Side by side still as we head towards Orkia. And now with the wet conditions, have to be very careful getting back on the throttle, especially on these low traction zones. Everyone's snaking their way through the S's. Gotta call it Gortsas got by Momster. He is well and truly involved in the battle for the podium spots now. And in this battle for P1, it's a top 4 and already a second and a half back to Toxin in P5. Still says yellow on my screen. It still says we have a caution in Sector 1. That is fake news. Let's see, can Kobe stay nearby? Kiwi comes to the pit lane. I think he has to serve his drive-through. That's what it is. Toxin Avs fan. Furzy trying to get by Wu. Oh, I see the Williams of Stiggy. A little tap to the back of the Alpine. Don't know if he caught any damage there. Battles for the top 10. Zabit P11. I think I saw, Eddie Fuentes get by Chalice, who's the only driver on the wets. We have a pass for the lead. Of course I miss it. Kobe, Hulkenberg, side by side. Kobe getting clear now. Yeah, having super slow into the first corner of the S's just to make the rotation, really sliding the car around. Already dropping back quite quickly into the clutches of Gortsas and Momster. So there's not a great section there for Hulkenberg. Get some penalties coming in as well. So it gives Kobe a little bit of space to work with. Let's see if Gord can go on the aggressive here. I think Andy may have just lagged out. I'm going to have to check and see if I have him in a moment's time. Toxin going super defensive here, all the way to the inside line. Maybe just trying to get some water on, keep some water on the tires, keep it from drying out on a potential dry line popping up. Yeah, let me see if I can get Wu in real quick. I'm not entirely sure I have him, is the issue. A reminder to the drivers, no matter what tier you're in PRL, you should add me on EA so that I can add you back into races when you lag out. I do not have Andy that I can tell. Hulkenberg falling away still, over a second now. Gortsas, Flick sometimes has issues going on the aggressive, maybe playing it a little safe at times. I think this is about the time he can get by Hulkenberg. He needs to do it into turn 1. So you can see the Williams really struggling for grip. Wants to get by if he has any chance of staying with Kobe. Momster, 3-second penalty for track limits. He's going to want to get clear as well, just so he can start making up that time. They are 3 seconds clear of Toxin. Will Gore be close enough? It doesn't look like it. Doesn't get the greatest exit out of the Peraltada. Got some battles in the back here. Oh, wow. That's Kittenpetter and Zabit. I think Kittenpetter just got sent off to the side, and he's going to have to get back on the track safely, but he's going to lose some spots. When I get a moment, I will check the times as we see Skirt poke to the inside of Heavy Chalice. I want to compare Heavy Chalice to the rest of the field times-wise. They are clanging through Orkia. Oh, Chalice losing the rear, trying to get back on the throttle. Skirt will get it this time. No one is particularly stable right now. Kiwi at the rear of the field trying to recover from his drive-through penalty that he picked up under the safety car. Let's see. Did someone else just leave? I glanced away, or did Wu get back in? No, I think someone else is out. Zabit comes in to put on the full wets. So we could be getting to about that time. Not even halfway through this race yet. Chalice ran in the 134s last time. I see a lot of 129s, 130s, 131s. Over the last lap. Yeah, I can't. Trying to get Wu back in here. I don't think I have him. Can I add him from... Here, I'll just send him a... I'm gonna send him a PlayStation friend request. Maybe that'll do it. Kobe still out in front. Hulkeberg still holding on to P2. Gordsauce P3 for now, but Mobster getting closer and closer. Rain coming down a little bit harder. Side by side into turn one. The V-Carb will get to the inside and make the move. Gord trying to find a line back around to the outside, to the inside, to the outside, inside once again. Maybe caught a little bit of curb though on exit. Not a lot of traction at all in that area. So Gord Sauce set down to P4 for now. Toxin holding on to P5. He's got a bit of a group behind him. Alex, F1, able to pick his way back through the field after a spin. Echo with him as well, sitting at P12. That car doesn't look ghosted anymore, so welcome back, Andy Wu. I really wish this caution thing would get off the pylon. That's kind of infuriating. Rain coming down even harder. So Kobe was a 130.6 and now a 131 flat. So getting a little slower, Gortsauce thinks it's time though. From P4, maybe just trying to undercut at this point, do something a little different. Get himself back in the mix with this top four group. Comes out on the full wets. This will be a bit of a test. He'll be the control group. Well, I guess everyone else is the control group. Gord is the one being experimented on. He comes out P14 ahead of JD. Oh, the leader's running in the 130s, 131s, 132s. Really, the top three all in the 130s, mid to high. Stiggy and Furzy going at it still. This is for P6. Furzy will sit in 6th. Absfan chasing Toxin for what is now P4. After the Gord stop. Ooh, excuse me. The Jan won there, tried to fight him off and had no shot. Watch this trio snake through the stadium. Mobster on the back of Hulkeberg, so Gord cleared out of the way to go to the pit lane, and now Mobster getting just closer and closer. And Hulkeberg actually within a second of Kobe once again. I feel like that lead had stretched a bit closer to 2 seconds for a while, but now back within a second. Ooh, fighting the car on exit there on the curb. Yeah, 132 flat, like 132 exactly for Kobe last time. Mid to high 131s for the rest of this group. 132s for this next group. 133s and 132s there on down. Old Syrup Style, E-Diggity in the McLaren is the next one to put on the wet tires. He'll be sent to the rear of the field. It comes out behind Zabit. Zabit running 134 flats on the full wets. So still might be leaning intermediates. It's just a sketchy intermediate, right? Gord Sauce has caught Kitten Petter, and his teammate Skirt, that's Gord's teammate Skirt, created a bit of Aston Martin bread for a grilled Alpine, which I guess could be like a croque monsieur. I don't know. Pretty good sandwich, actually. Oh, look at this mess. Side by side, 5 cars on top of each other, exiting the stadium section. Furzy fighting past Avs fan. Stiggy trying to make it. Another one past the McLaren. Is he going to get there? Boy, we tuck in, go all the way into the wet. All the way to the bottom. Now as we fan out, a lot of overspeed here for Stiggy. Is he going to be able to keep it under control under braking? Oh, not quite enough overlap. And Avs will get back by, at least for the corner. I think it's going to set up Stiggy for a better exit. Ooh. Fighting for traction. They are side by side, headed down to turn 4. Very, very close. Bit of a lock we see from the McLaren. Gord Sauce has fought his way past a Kitten Petter. Elbows out between Stiggy and Avsfan turning in a bit. He's going to lose the spot and might lose another one with Airborne Tiger just behind. Maybe a little argy-bargy, but razor-thin margins and tough conditions. Furzy on, just glued to the rear. Does he make contact? I don't know, we were on the front wing cam. He's trying to pick his way to P4 as he cuts the corner there and picks up his 3rd strike. Now as a penalty to his name. Oh, checking in on Gord Sauce real quick. P13, he ran mid 132. And now 132 flat. So, still not matching the pace of the top 3 the last lap. Mid 130s, 130 flat for Momster. Hulkeberg started to fall a little bit further back, 131.5. We continue to see the battle between the wet runners and intermediates. Gord, one of the first onto that blue-walled full wet. He is making his way through the field at least. He's just not catching the leaders on the timing sheet. But now he has a bit of room to work with. See if he has clean air. Can really press for pace as we see the rear snap out behind him. We'll come through the S's. About 4.5 seconds plus to the cars in front. That's Echo Alex, Eddie Fuentes, and HK in that pretty pink V-carb. Furzy will get by Toxin. Wow! Oh, they're going to be side by side, and it cuts away. Into the Peraltada. Goodness gracious. T-Sticky says, you guys are going to fight. I want that spot. I want both of those spots. Furzy has a bit more momentum out. Stiggy sitting 5th for the time being. Toxin, a ton of overspeed, dumping battery. We'll get back to P4. Nearly 3 wide behind him. The McLaren to the inside. Avs fan wants to be involved. Still side by side. Elbows out, a big snap as Stiggy is going to lose out on spots. 2 by 2 as we head towards turn 4. Stiggy thinks about sending it 3 wide. Avs will get clear of Furzy. Run a touch deep. Now Stiggy's going to try to make his way by. There's still a car to his inside. Catches that wet curb. And a big snap of oversteer sends him into the side of Furzy. Really, really tight racing here. Toxin loves this. He's able to run away a bit. 2.5 up the road now. Avs fan tried to reel him back in. It's still just melee behind him. Yeah, Stiggy really lost out and lost some momentum through all of this. Avs fan Furzy side by side. Furzy will get to the inside. And we'll keep it through the stadium section. Hey, let's hop to the front real quick. Mobster within 4/10. Looking at a different line, trying to stay out of the spray of Kobe plays. Snap from the leader in front. He goes deep. This is going to set up Mobster very well through turn 2 and out of turn 3. Kobe got back to the line. Close enough for a move into 4? I don't think so. Good placement by the Sauber ahead, right in the middle of the track. No chance for a dive. Oh, just no traction in the wet through this low speed. I've already said the name here. Orkia. I thought that's what it was. Orkia section. Very slow stadium section in Sector 2. Hulkeberg has really fallen away here from this front duo who is attached. Mobster dealing with time penalties. Hulkeberg as well. So Kobe still the upper hand. We hear the tires squealing as he brakes, getting onto the curb. We'll get to the outside. Is this going to work for him? The V-carb around the outside. Still super tight racing here. There's contact. They're both into the wall. Our leaders have found the wall in the stadium section, and we have a VSC. That'll put Hulkeberg in the lead. And that's going to send a lot of cars to the pit lane now. Because I think both of them have damage. Is there damage to Kobe plays? There's definitely damage to the V-carb. Oh, no. Everyone just picked up a speeding penalty. Yeah. What a mess there as Kobe plays. Mobster get into each other. Really scrapping for the lead through the stadium section. Brings out the VSC. T-Stiggy and Furzy have stayed out. Bunch of cars in the pit lane. Still sticking with the intermediates. Gordsauce goes back to the intermediate, so he has lost out big time. After moving on to the wets earlier in the race. It just hasn't quite gotten to full wet conditions. Yes, David, we would love to have you. This league is open to join. Please check out... I know Ramsey's in there. Ramsey, if you could drop a link to the Discord. I think it's in the channel description as well, David. If you click on the Performance Racing League Twitch channel. Link to the Discord. We'd love to have you. We're back to green flag racing. Furzy leads, but has that drive-through penalty. T-Stiggy is in the lead. Yeah, thank you, Ramsey. I really appreciate that. More penalties coming through. Kobe plays, and Hulkeberg, and Mobster. And we've got... Oh, Wu had an issue. He's going to go all the way down. And oh, we've got big issues just in front. We've got a car in the wall. Is that JD? Smashes into the wall. on the entrance to the stadium section. I just see yellows all the time, so I don't know if this is a full course safety. Yep, full course safety car. So we just got back from VSC. Have a full course safety car. I don't know how Furzy's going to serve his penalty now. He has a drive-through. Toxin has a drive-through. I feel like both the Ferraris may have been involved there somehow. Echo puts on new tires. Andy Wu will put on the full wets. And JD, I think, puts on a new wing and new intermediates. So now we've got two drivers trying to go the distance here on intermediates out front. Furzy's going to have to serve his penalty anyway. And the field is going to bunch up here. That's really going to hurt Furzy. Gets the penalty under VSC. And before he can even really get back around to serve the drive-through, we get a full safety car. So more laps go by, the field will bunch up, and he will get banished to the rear of the field. He and Toxin. He's going to come in just to put on new tires. Stiggy will join him. Pretty much everyone else on brand new tires, so they will stay out. That'll put Kobe back in the lead. Hulkeberg moves to P2. Mobster P3. Hulkeberg is 3 seconds. So does Mobster. 3 seconds of penalties each. So that's Mobster. Lux I will use interchangeably. Lux admitting in the chat he was probably at fault for that collision with Kobe. It did seem like a very aggressive move going around the outside of that slow speed corner, trying to get to the inside where it kinks back. Just did it. Never really going to have the space for that to work out, but hard racing for the lead. And they both sit first. They sit first and third. So I guess ultimately no harm, no foul. Though probably a foul. Everyone will sneak up the order. Let's see, where did... Yeah, Furzy and Stiggy actually come up P4, P5. Due to the big gap. But they still need to... Well, Furzy at least still needs to serve that penalty. So Stiggy kind of wins out from this. He's going to be in P4. It might be a couple of laps as we wait for the field to bunch back up. It's everyone's quite spread out here. Yeah, let's actually look at the penalties. I see penalties for all but... So I see 14 penalties. Quick math here. A lot of 3 seconds. Furzy and Toxin with the drive-throughs. HK in the V-Carb in 10th has 6 seconds. Chalice in 18th. Ediggity in 19th. And Zabit, who's a lap down, actually, in 20th, all have 6 seconds as well. Kobe, Stiggy, Avs, Kiwi, Echo, and Andy. Nothing currently to their names. No debts to the timesheet. See if I can glean any happenings from the T2 chat. Sounds like Frosty got the pole. Welcome, David. I'm glad you were able to join. Yeah, wait for the admins. I think everyone is racing right now, but they'll get you onboarded. We've got this tier, Wednesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got our midweek tiers going on at the same time at that time. And then on Sundays, we have 2 tiers. Tier 2 goes at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sundays, and then Tier 1 goes at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So I think we're going to go green this time. That'll leave us with 10 laps to go. See if we can stay green for a little bit. So we have the top 3. I guess Fursey's going to have to come in anyway. But then the lapped car of Zabit is 4th in line, just in front of Fursey. Safety car will come in this lap. David's dropping the bold prediction that Kobe Plays will remain in the lead. That's a pretty safe bet. Kobe is going to lead the field back to green. See that single dry line working in the stadium section. See when he decides to go. Oh! Yeah, back on the throttle, and he's just fighting the car just to get back to the line. Fursey stays out. I think you can actually serve once the safety car says it's coming in. So Fursey stays out trying to get by the lapped car, but he has Stiggy and Toxin fighting behind him. Stiggy, a tap and a bit of a bunch up. All sorts of bunched up now. P4. Oh, McLaren. I think I was making a late move on Eddie. He's going to stay to the outside. It might leave him open to an attack from HK, but I think they're all going to make it through just fine. Back at the front of the field, the Sharp and Kobe holding on to the lead. Within half a second is Hulkeberg and Momster just behind. I think if Kobe can not pick up at track limits, it's his race to win. He's got the track position. He's got the advantage on the timing sheet. Has no debts here. I think if he picks up a time penalty, I'm going to go with Momster, who we're on board with. Echo has fallen down the field just a little bit to P15. See Momster back on the I just think he's showing enough aggression. We could get another Momster Kobe Plays battle. Toxin to the pit lane to serve his. Fursey is still out. Doing a nice and tidy here. I think Fursey's at this point just trying to catch. He wants to be involved in this, but he still has that penalty he needs to serve. Toxin will come back out P18, P17. Already scrapping with Heavy Chalice into turn 1. Ooh, very close. Fursey catching the rear of Mobster, the sister team. Nearly side by side. Stiggy not left with a good line. It's going to be side by side through the S's, and Monster's going to sneak by. It's like Furzy didn't get the line quite right into the first corner of the S's, and it really, really hurt him through the following ones. The door was open for Mobster, for Lux, and he's going to push his way past. So he moves into P2. Kobe ahead. Could get part 2 of this battle. Got into a little scrap earlier. Couldn't quite keep it tidy. We've got another yellow. Furzy will come to the pit lane this time to serve his penalty. Let's see where he comes out. I think it's going to be P16, P17. That'll move Stiggy into P4, and this Williams duo doing fantastic in this race. 3rd and 4th. The Saubers doing well. 1st and 5th right now. Taking advantage of a tough performance from our constructor leaders, the Ferraris. That's Echo, P13, JD, and Furzy going at it. It'll be cut to it, and Furzy is pushed off the track. He's in the grass. They're still going to be side by side. He backs out of it. But I think Furzy trying to go aggressive immediately, and JD not having any of it, putting up a hard defense. It's 9 seconds up the road to P14, so Furzy just trying to get by. Gets to the inside. I think he's going to pull off the move here. V-Carb's also a good showing. P2, P8 right now. Some of our contenders as of now in the constructor standings. Momster was half a second faster than Kobe last time, as we were at 7 laps to go. Into the 128s for the V-Carb driver. Toxin and Chalice still going at it. JD will hit the pit lane. I think he picked up damage again. Yeah, the Ferrari garage is going through... Oh, he's on softs. Ferrari garage going through wings at a alarming rate. Monster already on the back. So Lux has caught Kobe. I say is caught. Is within a second. It was within half a second for a moment's time. This battle might not be over. And just 3 seconds of penalties to Lux's name as of now. So if Kobe slips up, gonna have a even fight on our hands. Great helicopter shot. And those guys are really, really damp up there getting this shot. Caught a glimpse of Hulkeberg in that shot as well. Still within half a second, following very, very closely. Might have taken a little too much curb there. And then gets the curb on the outside. Still gaining, dumping some battery. Is he going to try to think of a move here? Squares up to the outside. Kobe parks it on the apex. Leaves that door closed. So we cannot kind of do an up and under there. But man, Lux in the wheel tracks. Oh, we've got cars around again. Mobster picks up another penalty. I think it might have been Echo that had an issue. So Mobster may have just taken himself out of the running for the win. So he has pushed a touch too hard, picked up 3 more seconds. So now he has to get by Kobe and really stretch his legs over the final 5 laps. big snap. You see him really working the wheel. Tons of counter steer just to keep the thing pointed where he wants it. Dumping more battery as we hit lap 32. Tucked in. Back to the outside. Still taking a lot of curb on entry. Ooh, a tap. Misjudged it slightly at turn 2. You can see he's kind of hoping for that move. He's hoping that move will open itself up where he can kind of switch back. There we go. But Kobe doing a really good job keeping the car parked on the apex, really keeping the door closed. Mobster might get at least some wheels alongside, sends it into the inside, and they collide side pod to side pod, still side by side, as we hear the V-Carb's tires screaming, trying to find grip. He backs out, and Kobe returns to the lead. This brought Hulkenberg a little bit closer. Might not be bad news for Kobe, could be bad news for Mobster, who needs to be 3 seconds clear of Hulkenberg to keep P2. I don't even matter with T-Sticky having a clean slate right now. And P4. Mobster thinking about the same move as earlier. Really trying to get by. He may have 6 seconds of penalties, but Lux is driving like the race is on the line. Kobe all the way to the inside, going defensive. Leaving just enough room on the outside. He's been placing his car perfectly over these last few laps, headed into turn 1. I think we're going to have a move a bit further back. Yep, the Echo getting by Andy Wu as we're still watching this battle for the lead on track. A little bit more contact. Ooh. Very, very tight racing right now. I guess that hole was open for him. But just not for long enough. Oh, Echo gets by Skirt as well. See if Echo's really on the charge here. Oh, and we get him back on track and colliding with Skirt, and this has turned into a mess. Andy Wu takes advantage of it. I guess there was some argy-bargy. Ooh. We got the VSC. Okay, what has happened here? All right. I'm sure this will be used at some point. So we have the VSC as the leaders are headed towards 3 to go. Mobster did get by Kobe Plays. I'm sorry I missed that move. Oh, it's a full... What? It's a full safety car. It says VSC on my pylon. It says safety. I mean, we're obviously behind a safety car. JD has DNF'd, I think, in the... I don't know. I don't know what's happened. JD was trying to survive on the soft tires. I don't know if I ever really called out. All I saw for sure was Skirt getting into the rear of Echo. Obviously, something was happening before that. Yeah, I don't want to make too many assumptions, but I think that whole situation wasn't entirely sporting. Chalice came into the pit lane as well, so Chalice and Skirt come out 17th and 18th respectively. I think this is going to be a very brief safety car. Yeah, safety car in this lap, so not even a full lap. The safety car met the field at turn 1 and will pull away at turn 14 before the stadium section. So it's going to be a 2-lap shootout. Field still spread out, at least at the rear. The top 12 or 13 will be bunched up. And this time, Momster will lead us back to green, or try to, as that car is dead sideways coming out of the final corner. He immediately dives all the way to the inside. He's taking his head out on pit boards. As Kobe will get to the back. He's going to go to the inside line. It's still at the inside. Still inside. Not quite going to make it around. So we'll tuck back in at second. Suddenly Kobe has to worry about T-Stiggy. Got the Williams pair just behind. Stiggy still nursing some wing damage, it looks like. Missing an end plate. But Kobe, Stiggy on equal footing here. Gordon Avs going at it for P7. They're side by side. Still side by side. It's still showing a safety car on my pylon. That doesn't make me upset at all. So Gord getting P7 on the track. Stiggy's going to have to make his way past his temporary teammate Hulkeberg to get a shot at Kobe. But Hulkeberg already over a second behind the Sauber, and we're headed towards the white flag. Ooh. Still sliding around. And we are on the final lap of this race. Momster and Kobe have been going at it for a lot of this. And Momster is ahead on track, but has 6 seconds of time penalties to his name. Kobe was on pole. He's been in control of the race for most of the time. These two have gotten tangled up quite a bit. So he's within half a second on track, but has kept it clean. Hasn't violated track limits too many times. I might have a little scrap for P4, P5 in a minute. Gord on the back of Alex F1 for P6. They might be on equal footing. And now Kobe, I think he still wants to be the first one across that line. Time penalties be damned. He's certainly looking at some moves through the S's. Is he going to try to send one here? As the fireworks will go off here in the rain as they make their way through the Florida Soul for the final time through the Peraltada. Momster will be the first across the line, but Kobe Plays is going to win this. T-Stiggy will get P2. Hulkeberg P3. Oh. I don't know if there are issues or... So we got a whole bunch of cars across the line, and with the time penalties, it got all sorts of shuffled up. We'll wait for the rest of the field to come through. Some really close ones here on the timing sheet. Momster went from crossing the line first to P5 and was pretty close to getting P6. HK, I think, he fell a long way due to the penalties. All the way to 14th. I think that's all the arrows I saw. Oh, ended up on our championship leader, Echo Alex, who will finish P9. So he had a very eventful race. We'll cut to the very damp podium. Kobe Plays back on top, I think for the first time this season. And I think he won Brazil, the penultimate round last season. That was also a wet race. So showing off his skills in the rain, Kobe Plays. Fastest lap goes to Hulkeberg. Driver of the day is T-Stiggy. I think I would agree with that. Skirt gets most overtakes, and Avs fan given cleanest driver. So Kobe from pole. It's the victory. Stiggy. Yep, 2 Williams on the podium. Great day for Williams. Stiggy, your driver of the day, P2. Hulkeberg and I believe his debut, P3 at fastest lap. Avs Fan claws his way to P4. Mobster near the front, penalties dropping to P5. Airborne Tiger is 6th. Alex F1, great recovery back to P7. Kiwi 8th from 18th on the grid. Her championship leader Echo Alex is 9th. Andy Wu 10th. Kitten Petter 11th. Gord Sauce, eventful race for him. He finishes 12th. Burzy, same, will finish 13th. HK 14th. Toxin 15th. Old Syrup Style 16th. Chalice 17th. Skirt, Zabit, and then JD was your only, I'm not going to be able to get director in time. JD was your only retirement from this race. Ooh, that was eventful. And a wet race means quite a bit long. I think this was going to be an hour and a half of recording. So thanks for sticking around. Quite eventful, quite entertaining. So I'm glad you were able to join myself, Hoop BK, on the PRL channel. Next broadcast of the Midweek tier will be next Wednesday, same time. But Sunday should have some action being brought to you from... let's see, where are they? Our Sunday tiers at Austria. Yep, Sunday tier will be at Austria. That'll be 1 p.m. Eastern and then 3 p.m. Eastern this Sunday. So check that out on the PRL Twitch. Once again, I've been Hoop BK. This has been PRL, and we will see you then. Thanks for joining us. Good night.